Alexa, turn the music down. Good morning. Hey Alexa, turn the music off. That was strange. Good morning. Hello. So I wanted to give it a minute to go on. Apparently, if you leave your stream for a few minutes, it works better. So we're going to test stuff out and see how that works. This one's not working. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, LinkedIn. Good morning, YouTube. And I'm trying to get back onto Instagram. So bear with me and we'll jump into it. The big thing we've got at the moment is that trying to connect up all these different devices is far harder than I realized. Good morning, hey fatherhood. Right, this isn't going to be a good visual experience, but I need this phone to set up this phone. So let's just do this, so then we'll hop back on. Seven. Let's try that. There we go. Right, we should be back now. Hi. Let's pop you back in there. Hey, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. to make sure this one's back on. And then we can actually get into it. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for dropping in. So that was a bit of an unorganized mess, but this is the joy of social media and doing things live. Is things are a little bit nuts and a little bit crazy and a bit sporadic. So the reason I'm hopping on at the minute is I was listening today to a podcast, not a podcast, a Spotify. What's it called? Motivational speech type thing. The reason I was listening to it was I think it's so important to think about the information that we take in, how we take it in, why we take in certain things, why we think certain things. And I think for me, hey Zoe, okay. My big problem is, I think we get so overwhelmed with so much information that comes our way that it's really hard to keep aligned with everything that we're doing. I personally think. And this made me think about a number of things, and I thought I'd talk about that today. All right, let's see if we can actually get Instagram to work. So at the moment, what we're doing is TikTok, you're here, Instagram, you're here, and then we've got YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Right, that's all working. So here's the thing I found from this stuff. Me personally, have I given up? Well, no, not recently. Years ago, maybe. But there's certain things out there that for me, I'm not necessarily doing it in the same way with the same level of effort. Hey, everyone coming in on Insta. Good morning, good morning, good morning. TikTok, good morning. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, good morning. And I believe in the modern world, especially, a lot of the areas that we're working on, especially in business, we are often 10% below where we need to be to get the results we actually want. And here's a prime example. So I was at the gym today, whenever it was in the morning, at 6:30. And I've started tracking my workout. Sensible, right? So because I'm tracking my workout, I'm tracking my reps, I'm tracking the weights, and I've got a trainer that has created me a workout. So now it's far easier for me to stay and keep myself fully accountable on what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it. My goal is I want to get in the best shape of my life, which isn't difficult because I'm fat, I'm overweight. But here's the big thing. If I don't track what I'm doing, I'm going to be guessing what needs to actually happen for myself next. Good morning, Ben. Good to see you on Insta. Hey, Francie. Good to see you. And the problem is, if I don't track what I do, I'm going to not necessarily do the full amount of reps every single day, the full amount of work every single day. I'm not necessarily going to push things forward every single day. Now, this isn't about working ourselves into the ground, but if I've got a goal, let's say for fitness, let's say I want to lose 1 stone and add a certain amount of muscle mass, I can either guess my way into that. I can look at my health, I can look at my fitness, I can look at my food intake, my calories, I can look at the weights, I can look at the workouts, and I can sort of guess my way into those things, which makes sense. That might work really well for me. But also, if I've got a clearly laid out plan of what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and what I'm going to do when I don't fancy it, what I'm going to do when it's not comfortable, what I'm going to do when I'm not feeling like it, it's far easier in those moments for us to keep aligned with what we're actually trying to do. And so this sort of leans into what we've been doing recently within the coaching space. I'm opening the window because this office is so hot. And with a lot of the clients that we have varies. We have solopreneurs, so businesses that are doing the founder-led sales. They've got businesses and they're going to scale out. So they're wearing all the hats. So they're doing marketing, they're doing sales, they're doing prospecting, they're doing follow-up, they're doing closing, they're doing upsells, they're doing referrals, they're doing deliverables, they're doing logistics, they're doing admin. That's a lot to do. Now, if we think about all of those hats that they're wearing, that keeps them so busy that normally one of those areas is going to give. One of those areas are not going to be done to their full capacity. So whether you're sat watching this on Insta, whether you're here on TikTok, whether you're here on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, think about this at the moment. If you are a solopreneur, if you are a business that's planning to scale and you're wearing all the hats right now, you can carry on doing what you're doing right now forever. Maybe you'll burn out. But the big step for most people, and this is one of the areas that I thought today with, especially with the training, is I'm actually doing less in the gym now than I was doing before. But what I'm doing is more deliberate at each stage. So I'm actually doing less workouts than I was doing before. I'm doing less exercises, but my form is far better. So if my form is better and I'm doing the reps in the right way, and instead of doing an extra 4 different exercises and 3 sets on each exercise, instead, for me, I'm doing less, but I'm doing more reps, just 1 or 2 extra reps, and I'm doing it with better form, meaning my execution is far better. By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is not a fitness app. Definitely not in that. But for me, it resonated very clear. That's exactly the same for most of us within our business. For the most of the time out there, if you're in sales, if you've got your business, if you've got your own sales team, it's not always just about working harder. Just working harder isn't always the answer, because working hard isn't always enough. Working harder isn't always an option. You might be able to work a bit more, but if I want to double my sales, let's say I'm doing £60,000 a year and I want to get to £100,000 a year, I can either double the amount of work that I'm doing, or someone else has got to give. And there's only so much you can do with that. You can only double the amount of work that you're doing so much. If you're very lazy, it's far easier. So if you're lazy, yes, you want to go down that route. But if you're on the flip side, you're trying to work out how I can go from 60 grand a year to 100 grand a year, the easiest thing to be able to do is get better in the conversations that you're actually having, getting better at converting the conversations into clients, having better conversations that draw people in, not just having conversations and almost going through the motions, a bit like going to the gym and just randomly doing workouts. We want to have an intentionality behind each part of what we are doing every single day. So whether you're on Insta, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you're joining now, think about this. Let's imagine for the moment that you've got your business. And right now I click my fingers and I'm going to work in your business, or you're going to have a new salesperson that's going to start in the role. Their job is to go out and prospect. Then their job is to do a first call, for example, to build interest, right? Then their job is to do the second call and they're going to close the deal. Let's say that was the role that person was going to take over from what you're doing right now. You would likely have an idea of a target of what you would want them to do. You'd have an idea on how many clients you want them to bring in. You'd have an idea on how many calls you'd want them to make. You'd have an idea on how many prospects you'd want to have come into your business, right? If this is making sense, put a thumbs up in the chat, right? So if you're going out and you're a business owner now and you're not setting, and this isn't about just working harder, but you're not setting out a clearly defined strategy and a target and a goal of what you're trying to achieve, you cannot go off and hit it. The only way you're going to go and hit that target is by luck. So instead of just turning up today on a Friday and going, oh, I'm just going to go through the motions, what's in my diary, do I have a booking? Get deliberate. And this is what I say to a lot of people. If for 2 months you treat yourself like an employee in your business, You think I was going to have a review at the end of January and I would review my own work. How many leads I generated, how many calls I had, what my conversion rate was, how many deals I closed, what the likelihood of this was happening, and what the likelihood of that was happening. And you get really clear and concise about this. It's going to be far easier for you to go to the next stage of what we're doing in our business. The big problem is most people, say you're an expert, you're a coach, you're a consultant, and you've gone from likely working in a job where you were making all right money. You realize that actually, if I go and set my own business up, I could get a bigger piece of the pie. So you had a certain level of skills that you had. That was your fortress of success that made you good at the job you had. But then you likely are missing some of the other elements that are out there. And what that ends up meaning is there's certain areas where you've got a deficiency within the business. And often what we've done is the very bare basics to get out there having conversations, to get out there and put some content out, to get out there and have that first call, to get out there and have second calls. And we've almost got to the stage where we believe our own BS around where the problems actually lie. If I said to you now, what is your current conversion rate? And you turn around to me and say, I really don't know. That should be your step one. If you don't know and you've got a business, or even if you're in high ticket sales, how many people you spoke to last month on a closing call, as in the intention of that call was to sell a product or a service, and you don't know what that was, how do you know whether you're on target this month to get to the next stage? We don't just want to go through these in a random way and hope that it's just automatically going to get better. 97 DJ, drop me a DM. Yes, we've been doing some stuff around cold calling with businesses. So think about this now. So let's say you don't have a sales team and you're doing it. You've got your Monday to Friday as an example. So you've got 5 days. Let's say you have a product or service you also have to deliver on. Let's say that takes up 15 hours of your working week, right? Let's say that you're only working an 8-hour day. So over the 5 days, that's 3 hours gone straight away, right? That means you've only got 5 hours of your day left. Let's say you do some social media stuff, and that's half an hour a day. Suddenly we're down to 4.5 hours, and we've got all of the other areas of our business to still get good at. And this is the biggest problem we have, is we are just hoping that things automatically get better. We're hoping that if we just keep doing what we're doing right now, magically, we're going to see better results. And even the other day, I booked in for this personal trainer. I'm 43 years old. I've been to plenty of gyms. At one point, I was in okay shape, never ripped, like any stretch, but I was all right. I knew how to use the machines, the weights. But you know, the big problem was, when we were doing it, he was talking to me, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know how to do this one. Yep, been doing this exercise for ages. I've been doing this for ages, done this loads of times. And then he was like, okay, I want you to do this bit here. Actually, when you're doing the shoulder shrug, I want you to bring the shoulders up and back a little bit more. And he was showing me exactly where it to go to. With that one exercise, I had to drop the weight down and drop the reps because I was suddenly doing it just right. And a lot of the stuff out there. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, if you're on TikTok, by the way, you can't DM me because they blocked me for spam. So if you go to the link in the bio, or if you go to Tusta, tusta.co.uk, tusta.co.uk, and then you've got on there 3 options of the services we've got, and there's also a booking one, and you can message me on there. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, that's annoying. So yeah, if you want to get in touch, go to Tusta, tusta.co.uk, and you can either book a call, message, everything on there as well. Thank you, buddy. So if I've been to the gym and I've had plenty of reps and experience in a gym, it doesn't mean that I'm an expert personal trainer. But I was the person training me. I was the person going into the gym every day with my idea, my strategy, and my plan. But the fact was, within 45 minutes of spending it with an expert who specializes in getting results, and I knew he was an expert, he showed me small tweaks, small adjustments. And those little adjustments that he's done has made a dramatic difference. Even in 5 days, I feel so much tighter. I can feel so much more benefit within my body because the action, Matthew, do I basically cold call? No. We use cold calling as a good marketing tool. We do a little bit. It's about 10% of the business. So with a lot of stuff out there, if we're going through the motions and all we're doing, whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, if all we're doing is the very basic level and you're just going through the motions, we're not going to get to the highest level of potential that we've got. Now, if you've got a business and you want to go out now and you want to increase results and you look at the form that you would have, the process that you have, no one is intentionally doing things in the wrong way. But often we're 10% off here, 20% off there. And those 10s and 20% all add up massively to the end result that we get. Now, it doesn't mean just go out and do more reps. Doesn't mean just go out and make more calls. Doesn't mean get out there and just DM more people. Doesn't mean just spend more time on sales calls. Yes, doing the reps is really important. But doing the right reps is absolutely vital for anything you've got. We're going to have enough time to probably do some questions. So if you get questions, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok or Insta, if you pop them in the chat, more than happy to go into it. I'll start on TikTok very quickly. Hey, Riz, good to see you. Matthew Jones said, do you basically cold call? No. So what we do is cold calling is one area of how we utilize for generating leads. We use it for social media because it grabs almost a big brother effect. But we work within companies and we help them improve all of their areas of their business, from offer development, strategic development, framework development, hiring, recruiting, scaling, building out scripts, pitches, client journeys, the whole 9 yards. So we basically help a business now. Easiest way to explain it, think of it, you've got a Merc C180 and you want to turn it into a track car. You're looking at all the different areas of the business, the car that are going to improve the performance. Then you need to improve the skills of the driver so that can then handle the optimum performance of the vehicle. We help improve the vehicle and we then work with the driver so that they work more succinct in a business form. Looking forward to talking to you, 97JD. Prem J. Jeffwa, how do you generate leads and data? Okay, so we generate leads from a number of different ways. One, what we're doing right now is social media. Social media is really good for us. If I can be in one place, now we're doing this on Insta, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. By me talking once for half an hour, I'm going to get impacted on those different ones. Typically TikTok, we'll normally get between 700 and 5,000 people come through in half an hour. We've also then got our academy where we now have, and we give complete access to anyone for free for 72 hours. You can just go to theultimatesalestrainingacademy.com. You can put your details and you literally can learn for free for 72 hours. And if you want to stay, you can. So that's one of the key areas we generate leads from, because actually, instead of people having a level of resistance around should they work with someone like us, we give you first access. You can see that it works. And then you go, actually, these people can help. So that's one area. Second area, we do some cold calling. I have a cold caller that will outreach to targeted businesses. We collate the data. We then go out, contact those businesses. These are normally a bit bigger. These are normally companies that are doing between 5 and 15 million. And those companies will normally have a sales director. We'll normally go directly to them and we'll aim then to get them into a conversation about their sales team to utilize the academy in a strategic development. So that's the other area. Then we've got a podcast. So we've got the Sales Masters podcast. We generate leads through there. We're about to do season 2. That was top 10 in 12 countries last year on Spotify and all that jazz. Again, that links us in. And now we've just started launching ads. So you'll start seeing those on Facebook, Instagram, eventually probably TikTok, and then that generates us more interest again. How do you find a podcast? Search the Sales Masters podcast on Spotify. I can't read it here. CQB. Started my first sales job this year. Been using some of your tactics and not missed the target yet. See? This is how simple it is. If you haven't been online, so for some reason, I've just had a thing come up on my TikTok. Your live is not eligible for recommendation restricted to search results for the next 10 minutes because your live may have shown risk connection to using tobacco. I've got no idea what that means. Apparently, we've been talking about tobacco. Tobacco is bad. Really, really glad for you, my man. When you want to get to the next stage, all you need to do is roll into the academy, go to the Ultimate Sales Training Academy, get in there for free, and then stay. So right, so that's what we do. So now we're into paid ads, we've got cold calling, plus we use social media as well. I think that's about it on there. Cool. So in short, I got really confused with TikTok thinking we're talking about smoking. It's really interesting with the algorithm, by the way. It will come up with different stuff. It will tell you it while you're in a mid-conversation. And sometimes I get it, but then other times it's completely random. So yeah, so if you're at the stage now, you've got your business, you're not happy with the results you've got, don't just focus on trying to increase more reps. Focus on what we're doing with our form in each rep we've got. Then if you're not generating enough results, then you need to look at exactly the things that you're doing. So as a prime example, we've all seen a really rubbish film before, and it wasn't necessarily the script. It was the delivery of the script, the tonality, the pace, the emphasis, all of the little things that add up. That's exactly the same within your business. If you're not getting a conversion that's doing well, you're only converting 10, 20, 25%. That's normally where a lot of it's going in. So the words you say have a part, but also the tonality, the emphasis, the pausing, all the little things make a massive, massive difference. Okay, I've got a client message to meet, so I need to go and take this call. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see everyone. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon.